can't even come out on the screen because it's so high, but I don't feel like fixing. Happy video day, guys. So today's video, I kind of was talking about something and I said, you know what? That would make a good video. But actually that would make a good like series. But I want to know what you guys think of this video. If you guys like this video, don't forget to give me your comments below and let me know you liked it so I know that you want me to do this again. But what we're going to do in this video is we're going to say, is it really worth it? Is it? So what we're going to be trying to see if it's worth it today is the Natasha Denona. Now Natasha Denona does have other palettes similar to this one that are in the $129 price point. This is the Natasha Denona Safari palette, the $129 palette that I know a lot of people are like, oh my god, that price point. Who really can buy a Natasha Denona palette for that much money? But we're gonna compare it. We have another brand that I would consider a nice luxury kind of brand that a lot of people like to purchase, and that is Anastasia Beverly Hills, and this is the Subculture palette. I feel like the Anastasia Beverly Hills palettes are priced pretty much within the normal kind of higher end brand kind of price point that I would say people usually pay around 40-ish type of dollars for a more luxury brand palette with the amount of shadows that are in this palette. So I'm comparing these two palettes today just because I feel like this one is very mainstream and I feel like is more attainable, and this one is more luxury high-end, and a lot of people say that they just can't buy it because of the price point. But is the price point really that off? Is it over-exaggerated? Is Natasha Denona overpricing her items? So what we're going to do today is we're going to uncover whether it's worth to purchase this product for its price point by comparing it to a very standard, very universally like known palette like the Subculture or the Modern Renaissance. They're all priced within the same price point, so either way they're kind of like the same priced type of palettes. So let's get into the math, because I know you guys are wondering, why does she care? Well, the reason I care is because I really wanted this palette, but one of the reasons that I kept on not wanting to buy it was because the price point. I kept saying it's so expensive. Oh God, I don't know why she prices her stuff so expensive. Why can't she be cheaper? And a few things came to mind when I was looking at it, and I said, well, I'm starting to kind of understand this price. So let's go ahead and let's jump into the details of the Safari palette. So there is 15 shades inside of this palette. Each one of the shades pan size is 0.08 ounces, which is actually a pretty large size pan. The palette itself retails for $129, which makes each one of these eyeshadows $8.60 each. One of the things that really stands out to me, and I think sometimes people don't notice, is how huge this pan size is. But just to do a little comparison, let's go ahead and jump into the Anastasia Beverly Hills palette, which would also be similar to Modern Renaissance or to Soft Glam. They all have the same amount of product in them. You do get 14 shades, so you are getting one shade less than the Natasha Denona palettes. Inside of here, each one of the pans is 0.02 ounces per pan, and it retails for $45, so you're coming out with $3.20 per shadow inside of her palette. So that to me was actually pretty shocking. Even though I know that this is a lot smaller, I didn't realize how much smaller these pan sizes are compared to what you get in the Natasha Denona, because we just look at the price tag sometimes and we forget that, you know, these are different size pans. This one here is 0.02 ounces, and this is 0.08 ounces. So that means you're getting 4 times the product in Natasha Denona's pans than you are in the Anastasia palette. That to me was shocking in itself, that I didn't even realize how much more product you're getting. But yes, this is a lot bigger of a palette, and sometimes when you see these things online and you don't see them in person, you don't notice this. You're thinking, okay, well, you're still getting a better deal for the Anastasia Beverly Hills one because you're paying less money. But if you really think about it, you're getting 4 times less product and you're paying $45, and you're also getting 1 less shade. So here you're getting 1 additional shade and you're also getting 4 times the product. And I was kind of like, wow, you are really getting a lot more bang for your buck in the Natasha Denona palette than you are in the Anastasia palette. Now, of course, this is just to show you guys numbers, but in reality, I think most of us wouldn't mind if Natasha Denona made her palettes 0.02 ounces and cut her price like in half and kind of gave us this size palette. I think most of us would be fine with that just because we don't go through eyeshadow like crazy people. But if you are a makeup artist, I can see you enjoying the Natasha Denona one because you're getting so much more product and you're paying a little bit less. So if we really think about it and we say, okay, $3.20 for each one of these shadows for 0.02 ounces of product means that if she were to have increased her size of her pans and added an additional shade, we're talking about paying around $180+ for the Anastasia Beverly Hills palette in order for it to be the same size as the Natasha Denona. So if we really think about it, you start to say, well, technically, this one is not the worst priced palette. Now, another thing I wanted to point out to you guys too is the packaging of these products. The Natasha Denona packaging, even though I feel like this Safari palette is less luxurious looking than maybe her gold palette or her sunset palette, this packaging, this hard, sturdy packaging is really nice. This is good quality packaging. This is a quality package. Each one of these holes back here allows you to pop out the shadows. So if you wanted to put it in a Z palette, you could. You get this huge mirror. This is like one of the biggest mirrors ever. Like, I would use this mirror to put on my makeup of other eyeshadow palettes because it's that big. And this is such an easy to read palette. Not only is it easy to read, but it's well thought out. You've got all the colors you can use up on each one of the rows work good together. If you go vertically, each one works good together. It's well thought out, very sturdy, very travel friendly. Actually a really good designed product, period. Now, if we look at the Anastasia one, which is the better price, the more mainstream, probably the more purchased product, whether it be modern renaissance or subculture, you get this velvety packaging, which I've heard negative kind of reviews and people think it looks nice and then some people say raggedy. I can see traveling with this, you can get mascara all over the place. You can dirty this easily. Mine is okay, but that's because I just store it nicely. Now, inside you get a nice mirror. Is it the biggest mirror? No, but it's a decent size mirror, but I can't compare it to the mirror you get in here. Now, I can say that I like the way that the palette is laid out. I do think it's a nice layout. I don't mind this at all. I don't care for the fact that it has an eyeshadow brush because even though a lot of people say it's a good brush, I never use it. I could do without it. So technically, me personally though, I like the layout of this one better. I like the size of this one better. So I kind of love the Natasha Denona layout of this. I do think it is a bigger palette, and that's because you're getting a lot more product in here, and obviously bigger means bigger palette, but it's not astronomically bigger than this palette. It's probably not, it's not even double the size, but I would say that me personally, after doing this analysis and really thinking about it, I don't think that this palette is really actually priced that bad. It's actually priced pretty well. I actually think that maybe if Natasha Denona wanted to get a little bit more mainstream and maybe less towards the makeup artist industry, I would say that this palette kind of modified to be a smaller palette, maybe with smaller ounces or grams of product in it, could make her be able to probably cut this price maybe even in half and would be able to reach a larger amount of the population. And I think that her being known for being like a very pricey brand just has to do with the fact that she is putting so much product into these palettes and people are not seeing that. You know, like we're not seeing it. I wasn't seeing it either. I was just like, oh my God, she's so expensive. That's the same thing I thought until I started to actually analyze how much product you really got in here, the quality of the package. This product is actually made in Italy, which Italy is obviously renowned for having very luxurious products being made there, whereas the Anastasia one is made in the PRC. So there is a big difference there, you know, even in where the product is being manufactured. So, I mean, that is also something to take into consideration. So after all of this analysis and really looking at it, guys, just on her big palettes, I'm not talking about any of the other ones. We can do more of this series on minis versus larger palettes and all of that good stuff. So if you guys want to continue to see this and for me to actually get into depth of other palettes, I would only say to you guys that I don't think it is a rip-off. In other words, I don't think she's overpricing her items. I would say that this is more of a personal choice if you guys feel like you want to spend that much more money because you're getting so much more product. If you guys are just going to buy one one eyeshadow palette and let's say you want to use it all the time, do I think it's worth investing in a more expensive one that you're going to get a lot more product for? Yeah. Another thing to keep in mind is Natasha Denona does say on her products that her products last 24 months, whereas Anastasia has a 6-month disposal. I don't know what the difference is there anyways, guys, but most people I don't think will dump their eyeshadow palette after 6 months. I think a lot of people keep them for like 2 years. That is not what it says on the packaging. That is probably not what most people do, but that is something else to take into consideration. There seems to be a longer expiration date on the Natasha Denona ones. Why? I don't know, but that's how it is. That being said and done, after doing this complete like look over and thinking of what do I really think, I would say, guys, I'm gonna say the Natasha Denona $129 palettes are worth it, especially for the amount of product that you get inside of them. If for some reason Natasha Denona were to cut the amount of product you got inside of these palettes and still sold them for the same amount, then I would say it wasn't worth it anymore. So I think for the quality of the palette, I think for the amount of quantity that you're getting in the palette, I think for the pan size, and I think for the entire design of the palette, I think it's well worth the money. So let me know below, what do you guys think? Are you guys on the same bandwagon as me? And did this open you guys' eyes up a little bit? Because when I did this, I kind of went, oh, that was not what I was expecting. I was expecting to say, why did I pay so much money for a palette? It's not worth it. But after doing that, I kind of said, wow, you know, it seems like it might be worth it. So I hope you guys really enjoyed this video. Please let me know below if you guys want me to continue doing this and breaking down other palettes, maybe even like minis versus larger palettes. I would love to continue to do this and maybe even turn this into like a series on my channel, like is it worth it kind of series. So let me know below if you guys want me to do that. I actually am really excited. I actually really like this a lot. It really opened up my eyes and it really made me feel a lot more confident about purchasing Natasha Denona products, especially when I saw how much product you get in it. So thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you guys really enjoyed this video, and yeah, I'll talk to you guys later. Bye.